Talk about the new features in Windows Server 2012. That means what's new in Windows Server 2012 when you compare with Server 2008 R2. Okay, so the very first feature, like it is a 64-bit operating system. Like you have seen Server 2008, from Server 2003 onwards we are getting operating system with 32 as well as 64. But Microsoft is providing this Server 2012 operating system only with 64-bit processor. Means it supports 64-bit architecture, where all your features will work like Hyper-V, all the virtualization based all the features works only on 64-bit operating system, so it supports only 64-bit architecture. Clear? Then coming to the next feature, that is Server Manager has been redesigned. So Server Manager, you have seen in Server 2008 also we had Server Manager. So it has been redesigned. So redesigned in the sense what? So by using one server, if I add other computers or other servers, I can deploy the features, I can deploy the roles. So you can see, yeah, directly I can deploy the roles. You can see here. So in the server, this is your Server Manager, advanced version of Server Manager, where I have an option to add other servers to manage. So if I go for server group, I can create a group and I can deploy directly roles and features to the group. So if I go for add roles and features, you can observe like what all the computers are added to this particular group, to which computer I am adding. So if I have made a group, if I want to install role to particular server, I can select the server. It will be showing the server name and it will be showing the IP address. So you can install the role. You no need to go to that particular server and install. So centrally you can manage the Server Manager. Okay. So that's what it says, deploying features and roles on remote server by using Server Manager. So coming to the next feature, that is Windows PowerShell 3.0. So PowerShell, where we can execute all the commands, we can create users, we can create objects. Okay, entire your server you can manage through shell. Okay, like how in Linux you are going to execute everything through commands, like that you can use this PowerShell to manage your entire server. You can create users, you can manage groups. Okay. Next, Server Core. So this is what's new in Server Core of Server 2012 means. Okay. So what's new of Server 2012 Server Core means. So here we have an option. If suppose I have installed Server Core operating system, that is totally command based, right? You have seen when you have used with Server 2008. So if I want, I can convert that to GUI. But in Server 2008, I have to format and I have to install the OS. But when you come for Server 2012, if you want, you can convert from GUI to Server Core or from Server Core to GUI. Okay. So that is one advantage in Server 2012. Then coming to Network Interface Card Teaming, NIC Teaming. So I can create a group of my adapters. I can make a group. So this feature is specially used for fault tolerance load balancing. You have seen this feature was there in multiple virtualization tools like VMware. Okay, so in Hyper-V and all. So they have added here also, like I can create a group and it is used for fault tolerance and load balancing. So next, coming to the feature IIS 8.0, that is Internet Information Service 8.0, whereas in R2 we had IIS 7.5, in Server 2008 we have IIS 7 version, right? So here we have 8.0, it supports multiple languages. Languages in the sense like your HTML, PHP, .NET, so like this different web applications, everything it supports 8.0. Okay. So next new feature is IP address management. Okay, we called in short form IPAM. Okay, so IP address management, it is used mainly for discovering and capturing and monitoring purpose. You can monitor the servers by using your IPAM. Okay, so then ADDS installation wizard has been replaced by new section in server manager. So here like we have used this DC promo command to remove your domain. If you want to make your domain controller, or if you want to remove, we are going to use a command called DC promo. But when you come for server 2012 and if you type DC promo, it says command not found, because everything you are going to configure through your server manager. So through server manager only, by using a GUI wizard, you are going to make your PC as a domain controller. So DC promo has been removed. There is no more DC promo in server 2012. So then Active Directory Administrative Center has been enhanced. So when you compare to R2, server 2008 R2, and here the Active Directory Administrative Center, so where you can manage entire Active Directory. So you can create OUs, you can create users, you can create objects. Okay, so entire you can see your entire Active Directory. So that means they have added many features here. And the next feature, NAP, Network Access Protection. So that checks the health of the client, whether the client has updated the operating system, whether the client has installed antivirus and it is up to date or not. Right. So it supports client as Windows 8, but your R2, Windows Server 2008 R2 supports client up to Windows 7. It supports Windows XP Service Pack 3, Service Pack 2, Windows Vista, Windows 7. But when you come to Server 2012, even Windows 8 you can make the client. Okay. So then like we know that BitLocker dry encryption was there in Server 2008. But here we have in BitLocker something called as BitLocker Network Unlock. If my clients are the member of my domain controller, okay, if their operating system has to automatically unlock, I want to unlock the operating system drive. So you know that we can store the BitLocker key either in flash, either in TPM chip in the motherboard, right? So with the help of this feature, you can automatically unlock the BitLocker partition. Okay, BitLocker drive. Okay, if you have enabled BitLocker drives in member PCs, you can automatically unlock by using this feature through network. Okay, so then new version of Task Manager. So you have seen in Windows 8, the new version of Task Manager is there. So you can see here. So when you compare to Windows 7 and Windows 8, so this is the new version of Task Manager. I can see graphically CPU performance, memory, Ethernet, right? So what are the process? Like it shows in like apps, background process, Windows process. So in order it is showing in groups. Okay, so this has been enhanced when you compare to R2. And the next feature, like new version of Hyper-V, Hyper Virtualization. Like we know that from Server 2008, Hyper-V was introduced. It's a built-in virtualization feature in Microsoft, but they have added many more features in Server 2012, that's the reason why we called this Windows Server 2012 as a cloud-based operating system. It is mainly used for cloud computing because they have added many features like network virtualization, storage pools, you can connect through fiber channels, and cloud backup. You can keep entire your virtual machines on cloud, okay, on storage, and live migration. If your virtual machine is if it is working also, if suppose consider your server is going to be down, so automatically that virtual machine will be migrated to the another server, because your entire Hyper-V virtual hard disk, everything will be stored on SAN, okay, on the cloud. So automatically you can migrate your virtual machines. So then REFS, this is one of the new file system introduced in Server 2012. Like we have like NTFS and all that supports up to 9.4 zettabyte. Single partition we can create up to 9.4 zettabyte in Server 2008 R2 if I use GPT as a bootloader. But when you come for Server 2012 and if you use REFS file system, then you can create a single partition up to 1 yottabyte. So this is 1024 zettabyte is equal to 1 yottabyte. So whereas in R2 you can just create 9.4 ZB of your single partition size. But when you come for Server 2012, you can create single partition up to 1 yottabyte. Clear? So that is also one of the new features. This is the file system. We have many more features we'll discuss in your next classes. So advanced group policy management. So when you compare to Server 2008 R2, we have here advanced group policy management. Like if I've done any changes to group policy, we used to go to command prompt and we are going to update our group policy. But here I have an option to schedule when automatically I can my group policy will start updating, and graphically when I right click on my GPO group policy object, I have an option to update my group policy. So then Windows search service, where I can search the features for all files, folders, data through my Windows search service, advanced version of search. Then enhanced storage features, like when you see the disk management of Server 2012, it is totally changed compared to R2, and we have many more storage features like storage spaces and all. Okay, so and many more features we have, like when we talk about roles of Server 2012 when you compare to Server 2008 R2. So like WSUS, ADFS, Active Directory Federation Services, these all we have to like internet we required to install these roles. So we have the role, but the files will be downloaded from the internet. So but when you come for your Server 2012, you no need to have internet connection. Automatically your WSUS service will be installed. Just you require to connect to a Microsoft update server internet connection, but the role will be automatically installed without an internet connection. So and even ADFS also we does not require internet connection. Automatically we can install the role. Okay, so these are the new features of Windows Server 2012.